Hello all. Our next topic on project management practices is on monitoring and control. So why this particular topic becomes very predominant, in, predominantly important in terms of project management practices is all about. When you say it is a software project management, it requires a good amount of monitoring that has to be established into the overall development task. And as a software project manager, it is their prior duty in order to monitor the entire project that is going to be developed by the different team members and to be with them during the entire process of software development. And as and when it's required, the person or the project team lead has to involve into the process of controlling the entire software development activity that is going to happen. So let us see in detail what it is going to have in store for us. So we are going to start with a small diagrammatic or a flowchart representation of the monitoring and control cycle, wherein monitoring the progress is the first activity. And this requires a good amount of time to initiate, as we are going to allow the team to progress or start working for the project. After a few days of time, we can go for monitoring the progress, or after allowing the people to work for a few amount of time, we can start monitoring. And as the progress is monitored, we are going to evaluate the progress, to what extent it is satisfactory. Whether it is satisfactory means we are going to keep monitoring the process. And if it is not going to be satisfactory, there is the exact time the software project manager's ability is going to come into the picture, like what kind of actions that he is going to take place because things are not going according to the expectation. So he has to look out for assessing the possible control actions that are required. So what other alternatives need to be put upon? Should I go for changing the team member, or should I go for adding much more resources, or should I go for changing the policies, fine tuning onto the policies is it required or not? What is the kind of thing that has been immediately been done in order to put the progress back onto the track has to be taken care of. And based upon that, we can go for selecting and implementing control actions. So this particular process is also very important. Like quite a good amount of actions or quite a good amount of alternatives are available. Options are available to us, and it is totally left to the person who is going to take the final call on to that. The person who is a project manager to take the final call. So he has to select the appropriate optimum viable option amongst it. That is a place where the person's ability comes into the picture. And it's not about selecting alone. You need to go for implementing all the control action back into the track also. So implementing, once he has implemented them, then again he can go for monitoring the progress because he has brought everything back onto the right track. And while you look out into the responsibilities in an organization, it goes like bottom to top approach, wherein we got a different set of sections existing over there in our organization. Analyze our design section, programming section, quality control section, or user documentation section. And these sections, each and every sections are going to have a team lead to whom they are going to report. In turn, the team leads are going to report to the project manager, and the project manager is going to report out to the steering committee, which is almost like a management committee, which is going to deal with the client. And as and when required, the project manager also meets the client, and he is going to give the kind of insights about how the progress is happening. And he is also going to involve in the kind of extracting the requirements from the client side. So this particular tree-like structure, inverted tree-like structure, is going to give us a clear picture of what are the responsibilities of a team which is involved in project development. So when it comes to assessing the progress of the project, we are going to have multiple checkpoints. We are going to have a predetermined times when progress is checked, which is nothing but a checkpoint. So these predetermined times are the ones which we are going to fix well in advance. We are going to just fix a time slot stating that this is a date that meeting is going to happen. It's not like the stand-up meeting which is going to happen at the beginning of the day. By the end of a week or Friday evening, the teams are going to involve in terms of meeting each other and and elaborating the progress of the project to what extent it has progressed. And this particular elaboration is going to happen in terms of two different means. One is the event driven, another is a time driven. So event driven is nothing but it takes place when a particular event has been achieved. So when I am going to fix the time slot and I'm going to specify a particular period that the meeting is going to be conveyed, I can do it by based upon these two means. One is the event-driven ones, like as and when a particular event is done. Say, for example, a development is completed, or a planning is completed, or the design is completed, or design on a particular module is completed. I can I can fix a checkpoint, or I can fix a checkpoint based upon the time also. The data, the check is predetermined, like I earlier stated, like in the every weekly once or 2 days once or 2 weeks once, we can involve in a meeting, giving the progress of the way how does the work is progressed so far. And the frequency of reporting of this meeting is to the higher the management level, generally the longer the gaps between checkpoints. The reason being, management level are involved in many number of projects. It's not going to be only one project where they are going to be a part of it. They are going to be the source of many different projects. So as we move towards a higher level, the frequency of these meetings may reduce to a greater extent. Like the checkpoints may reduce to a greater extent. Very few number of checkpoints, like a remarkable outcome or a more specific outcome that has been generated, and that can be told to the management level, or the final end product where it is ready for deployment. So those kind of things can be told on to the management. So while you're going for collecting the progress details or progression details of the project, what are the things that we need to look out into? We need to collect data about the achievements or the milestones and the cost. How to deal with partial completions? We call it as a 99% completion syndrome. So what is 99% completion syndrome means? While we are going to interrogate the team based upon their progress in terms of project development, they will tell like we have progressed to 20% or 40% or 70% or even up to 99%. They will tell that we have done the project up to 99%. But that 99% might there might be a chances like it may keep going on for many number of days or weeks of time. The reason being, we it's a project development and it's something like we are developing a product out of nowhere, out of nothing, only by keeping the raw information, only by keeping the essential set of details that are required for developing a project, we are going to come out with one complete product. So the product should reach that kind of precision, what is required, the kind of perfection, what is required. So till to that moment, we used to keep the project completion status as 98%. That is what we call as a 98% completion syndrome. And possible solutions here might be control of products, not activities, subdivided into lots of sub-activities. Like whatever the kind of products that we are going to develop, we should have a clear idea, clear plan, and we should foresee what is the outcome of the particular product well in advance. If you could be able to see that and we are going to have a kind of satisfied mindset towards that, we can stop when once we achieve that particular target. So that might be a solution for that, and not the activity can be a possible solution. So in this case, there are several tools which are used by the project managers in order to maintain this particular monitoring, controlling progress, and to get the reports or the feedback reports from the corresponding teams. So that involves identifying key tasks, breakdown into subtasks, and assess subtasks as on target or not on target but recoverable, or not on target and recoverable but only with the difficulty. So these are being marked in terms of green, amber, or red terms. So while it is green, it is on target. That the team is going, or the project management activity is happening in the proper way, with the proper schedule, with the proper timing, with the proper outcome, etc., etc. We are totally on the safe side. When it comes to the amber, that is the yellow one, it's not on target but recoverable. It is the things are not on target, but it's a kind of controllable phase. Like we can bring the things on control, and we can ensure that the product delivery can happen on time. But when it goes to the red, we need to go give immediate attention, and the things are very clearly viable that recoverable is only possible with the difficulty. Means the management has to involve. The project manager has to involve, the team has to completely involve. And it is a prior duty of the team not to leave the project to this extent. that is to the red extent. And status of critical task is particularly important. So while we consider a particular project, there are few areas where we call it as critical task, like most important task. Say, for example, in a banking system, a person's account opening task, the successful account opening task is a critical one. Or the transaction, what is going to do, it's a critical one. For that one particular thing only, the entire software has been developed. So such kind of things and all are very critical, and we need to go for identifying them in separation, and we need to go for coming out with highlighting that the status of that particular critical task is very, very important. And yeah, so we have got some more tools which are going to be used like a Gantt chart or a slip chart or a ball chart, etc., etc., in order to perform a proper monitoring and control. Thank you.